Rockstar Games has been known to put references to other titles or people in general in the GTA franchise. GTA Online is no different, so today we'll check out 50 tiny references you probably missed. Thank you to my channel members, subscribe to become the 10% of people that are followers. And let's dive in. Starting off with the Vanoss crew in the agency. One of the more notable references to real life in GTA Online is a picture of the Vanoss crew inside the agency. To say the Vanoss crew left an impact on GTA Online is a heavy understatement. What they did for the players and the game in general is something that a developer can only dream of happening. Just a group of guys who are passionate about your game and made videos on it for many years even to this day. They are the only YouTubers to have a physical reference in the game, even though back in the day Rockstar did streams and promotions with other big YouTubers at the time. The guys in the Vanoss crew are the only ones to be found in the game, which is just how it should be. You can also buy this for your casino penthouse as well, and it is a wonderful reference that everybody should be aware of. Also inside the agency is a picture of the gold dog hung up in one of the hallways in a suit. This is likely a reference to the dog that Chop does some business with in the story mode when you chase D and then kidnap him. Maybe Franklin wanted Chop to feel more at home in the agency, so he got him a picture of one of his lovers. Speaking of kidnapping D, you can also find a picture of Chop in the agency with a purple bandana in his mouth, which also references the same mission. It could also be referencing the rivalry overall between the families and the boss as well. Also inside the agency in the living area is a picture hung on the wall that very closely resembles Mickey Mouse with the dollar signs in his eyes. This is of course referencing Disney and how they've gotten so expensive over the years, and I'm a bit surprised that Rockstar was this bold to even make this. There's a poster underneath Tony's desk in the nightclub that says "Tonight at Masonette." This references Tony's nightclub from GTA 4, which of course was called Masonette. You could actually make your nightclub name Masonette Los Santos, but this promotional poster is here regardless of what your nightclub name is. Also on Tony's desk, you can find a picture of a man. This is Luis Lopez, who was Tony's right-hand man in Liberty City in GTA 4's The Bout of Gay Tony. For whatever reason, Luis was not present in this update, but him being here in the picture shows us that Rockstar didn't forget about him. There are a lot of decorations in the casino that have references within, so let's talk about them. Starting off with the art piece We're All Mystified, this piece shows the Mount Chiliad mystery and 3 details that could pertain to its answer. The mural itself, 2 Bigfoots, and a UFO at the top of a mountain, which is likely Mount Chiliad. Of course, there have been many theories of its answer over the years in the game, but this art piece seems to depict a different take on it. There's also a tabletop piece called Statue of Happiness in the casino. This refers to the Statue of Happiness in Liberty City from GTA 4. It might seem obvious, but you have to remember that not everyone played GTA 4, but this was a nice detail regardless. In the auto shop, there is a painting on the wall that says Grotti Turismo and shows an image of a Turismo. This is, however, an older generation Turismo from GTA 4, and Rockstar, please add this to the game as a car. I know you're watching this, please man, come on, you watch my channel, right? I mean, maybe I'm delusional, but please man. But it is once again a nice reference to the past. This is also only for certain styles of the auto shop as well. In the story mode, when Michael and Lester put together a crew for the jewelry job, Lester mentions some options, but 2 notable ones are an Eastern European guy in Liberty City, obviously referencing Niko Bellic, and someone who Lester simply deems as unpredictable. Lester is likely referring to our GTA Online character because Lester does know them at this point in the game, since Online during the heist update takes place before story mode. Since he didn't know our character for that long yet, he opts to not go with us for the jewelry job. There's a bus called the Dash Hound, which is a reference to the bus network in America called the Greyhound. This bus network does not have a very good image. Almost everyone agrees that it's quite a terrible experience, and that continues in GTA Online. Though you cannot actually take the bus somewhere, you'll have to call a cab for that. In the opening cutscene of the last casino work mission, Tao Cheng pleads you to kill the Duggins to help him, and when the player agrees to do so, Brucey will chime in and call our player Ice Cold. This is a reference to him calling Nico from GTA 4 Ice Cold as well, as Nico rarely refused to do something Brucey said for money. It seems old habits die hard, and he still hasn't given up that saying.
Ice cold, baby! Man, you're cold!
The Epsilon program in general is a reference to high society, or at least a parody of it in America. It's supposed to show how people will eat up anything that celebrities spew out of their mouths to try to be like them. The Epsilon program promises everlasting life, higher life forms in general, and being protected when Armageddon comes. Of course, that's what all the Vinewood celebrities say about it because they endorse the program. In story mode, they make you spend tons of money on them to become an Epsilonist, and they're revealed to just be scammers in the end. Avon Hertz is Elon Musk in the GTA universe. I think it's strange how people still debate this to this day. Hertz is a rich billionaire who drives an electric car that is literally based on the Tesla Roadster, or at least a concept version of it from some time ago. This update came at a time of the rise of Tesla Tesla as well, which only supports the reference to Musk also. The similarities are apparent, but Hertz is trying to take over the world, which I don't think is on Elon's mind, at least not yet. Mirror Park is GTA's version of Echo Park. Echo Park is a relatively new suburb in Los Angeles that has many similarities to Mirror Park. Younger people primarily live there, and it's in close proximity to downtown, which Mirror Park is also. I think a lot of people believe that Mirror Park is just a generic area made to fit the game, but it's based on a suburb in real life that is very much not generic. There's a hockey mask called the Please Stop Me hockey mask that is a reference to another Rockstar title. It's a reference to Manhunt, which is a very old game made by Rockstar. I'm surprised they bothered to make a reference to it with this mask, because I'm sure 99% of GTA Online players have never played Manhunt, myself included. There's an image of a game called Race and Chase inside the arcade that references Trevor's truck from story mode in it. We know it's his because 1, it's red, but more importantly, it has the license plate Betty32, which is his license plate. Such a small detail that surely a lot of people miss, since you really have to take a close look to see it. You can find Up and Atom locations across the city, and my fellow Californians might know where I'm going with this. Up and Atom heavily references In-N-Out, which is a fast food restaurant primarily in California that sells burgers and fries. If you're from far states from California or from a different country, then you probably don't know what In-N-Out is, but now you do, and now you know that Up and Atom is a reference to it. At this homeless camp just off the freeway on the coast of Paleto Bay is a sign that says the revolution will not be televised. This directly references the ideology that true social change comes from individuals themselves and how they think about the problem at hand, and not to the presence or influence of the media. This camp has a lot of signs around that are mostly anti-government, but it's interesting how Rockstar didn't parody something in real life, and instead chose to present it how it is. Basically, every tube of toothpaste in the game will always be named TJ's Toothpaste, which is a reference to CJ from GTA San Andreas. Quite a strange reference, but a reference nonetheless. Around the Mile High building, you can find advertisements for Badger, which is a phone provider company. Their main advertisement is that they have, quote, wider coverage than Tinkle. This almost definitely references the rivalry between Verizon and T-Mobile in real life, of course, and the phone provider rivalry is carried on in GTA Online. Our character actually uses Tinkle, funnily enough, as you can see their logo in the top left corner of our phone. There's a big house, or more so a mansion in West Rockford, kind of in the corner of the city, that is heavily modeled after the real-life Playboy mansion in Los Angeles. It was owned by Hugh Hefner, who founded Playboy, and the house in the game is almost a carbon copy of the house in real life, which is pretty neat. In the prep mission where you steal security passes for the casino heist, Lester mentions how the Diamond lost their 5th valet this week, and of course you go into the morgue and get the passes, but it references how players always kill the valet. I guess Rockstar took note of the valet always being dead, so they kind of built that into a mission, which is pretty hilarious. One of the slightly more well-known references to real life is a bench near the cemetery. This is not a regular bench, as it has a plaque that says in memory of Chris Edwards stamped on the bench. Chris Edwards was a Rockstar employee who passed away during production of GTA 5. So they left him this Easter egg on the map permanently. This bench also cannot be destroyed or defaced in any way, unlike the benches next to it. A nice wholesome reference to real life done in a very respectable manner. Inside the Yellow Jack and Sandy Shores, you can find $69 bills behind the counter, and if you look closer, you can also see that there is a girl on the face of the bill. This references the cover girl from GTA San Andreas, who is seen in some loading screens and whatnot. As far as I know, this is the only place on the map where you can find this bill. Around the Davis area, you can find multiple phone numbers listed around for various reasons that have an area code of 323. This is one of the main area codes for Los Angeles, kind of central Los Angeles, which Los Santos is obviously based on, and it's such a small reference that really only LA residents or people who live around LA will get, but it was a very nice touch and very cool to see. There's a movie called Los Santos 2020 in the game that heavily references the movie 2012, which is based in Los Angeles and is sort of a disaster-like film. The movie isn't called Los Angeles 2012, but this movie is obviously related to it. What's interesting is that Rockstar probably didn't even really anticipate GTA Online would last this long, so them naming Los Santos 2020 is probably them saying like, oh, in 2020 Los Santos is going to be a disaster. Well, 2025 is here and Los Santos is still very much here. You can find some signs around the country area of the map that show a horse crossing. This likely refers to how horses were initially meant to be in the game, and matter of fact be part of a now cut heist from story mode as well, but were removed before release. But maybe Rockstar forgot or didn't care to remove these signs, which leaves these signs around the map, but you will never see a horse crossing because there are no horses. There's a game called Space Monkey in the game that references the game Galaga, which is pretty similar. You basically just shoot aliens as a 2D monkey in space, but in Galaga you're in a spaceship with no monkey. It's a very old game, but it's a cult classic for sure. I mean, even I know of it, and it came way before me. We recently gained the ability to buy Higgins Helitours, which is a helicopter sightseeing business of course, but this business actually references Higgins Helitours from GTA 4 as well. It's when it made its first appearance, and it coming back was a nice touch. It was actually in the game before we were able to own it, but of course it became a business in the latest update. You can find a bail bond office around the map that is named Jay's Bonds, almost certainly a reference to James Bond from the James Bond franchise, and I once called him the British John Wick, which people didn't necessarily like, let's just say, so I won't say it again, but there's some similarities, right? There's a high-end clothing store in Rockford called Perseus. This references Perseus from GTA 4, which was also a high-end clothing store that only sold suits, sweaters, things like that. Unfortunately, we cannot go inside Perseus in GTA Online, but it's nice to know that Rockstar didn't forget about it. There's a pizza place on Vinewood Boulevard that sells Liberty style pizza. This also references Liberty City from GTA 4, which is of course based on New York, which of course sells the world's finest pizza, so I hear. And you can get it at this pizza place in Los Santos, and that's why it's called Liberty style pizza. After completing enough special cargo missions, you will notice some boxes around your CEO office, but one box in particular is interesting because it is referencing iFruit, which is of course GTA's version of Apple, but because it's counterfeit, it's named Fruit, and the banana is missing from the logo, which is pretty funny. Speaking of iFruit, you can also find iFruit advertisements around the map that say 3% thinner, 3% faster, 30-hour line. This refers to how Apple barely changes their products, and because it's an Apple product, there's enough brand recognition and loyalty, people will still wait in huge lines and pay more for the hype of the brand. This game came out in 2013, and 12 years later, things are still the same when it comes to Apple and their products. One of the more well-known references to real life are the two billboards on Vinewood Boulevard that reference the advertising battle between BMW and Audi in Los Angeles. These were the days before Audi was a reputable brand in America, so the traction they gained from this battle benefited both them and BMW. Of course, this was around the time of GTA 5's creation, so Rockstar added this cool nod to real life that most people have recognized, at least in America. You can find a beer brand in the game called Pisswasser. This references how to a lot of people American beer tastes like, well, piss. So Rockstar implemented piss into the name of the beer itself, which is certainly a quirky touch. There's a show called The Underbelly of Paradise that references Steve Haynes from Story Mode, as he was the main star of the show. I say was because at this point in the game, he's been dead for well over a decade, but he's still advertised as the main host. A bit of a strange line of continuity, but it's here. Around the map, you can find a towel that says I Heart VC. This means I love Vice City, that obviously references GTA Vice City. All of the cities in the GTA universe do coincide with one another, and it's always cool to see references to other cities on the map. There are multiple streets on the map that are named after cities or towns from Rockstar titles. Some of these are Karso Way in Los Santos, kind of near the mod shop, that references Karso City, which is the city in which the Manhunt series takes place in, that also exists in the GTA universe. Armadillo Avenue in Sandy Shores, which is named after a town in Red Dead Redemption 1 and 2 that is also called Armadillo. Algonquin Boulevard, also in Sandy Shores, which is named after the borough of Algonquin in GTA 4. I love these little Easter eggs and references to the past in Rockstar games, and I'm sure we'll see more of these in GTA 6. There are two styles in the designer shoes section at the clothing store that reference two shoes in real life. The first style references the Jordan 5, Michael Jordan's fifth signature shoe, originally made in 1990. The second references a more modern silhouette of Kanye West's Yeezy 350. I expect to see more realistic clothing in GTA 6 as it makes its way more into pop culture and thus more into video games like GTA. A bit of a funny dad joke from Rockstar that references real life is the area of Cape Catfish near the lighthouse. It's obviously a play on the well-known Cape Cod in Massachusetts, but they just named it another fish. Very humorous, and I just know some Rockstar dev was smirking when they thought of this idea. Very smart. There's a poster inside the MC Clubhouse that references Vice City, as it says Vice City Custom Motorcycle Show. I wonder if Rockstar will actually put this in GTA 6 as it is taking place in Vice City, or at least that's one of the locations, but we'll have to wait and see for that. Just outside the Strawberry nightclub, you can see written on the wall, "For a great finish, make it a rim job." You see, I would tell you what this reference is, but if you don't know, then I'm gonna keep your soul pure and not tell you. There's a special item you can source for the cargo warehouses that is the upper body of Bigfoot. This refers to how Bigfoot is more or less fake in the game and how it's just a prop. In story mode, Franklin actually meets the guy who pretends to be Bigfoot around Mount Chiliad, and he confronts him about it. It seems that he was wearing this prop as it is hollow inside with no organs or anything really. Kind of just down the street from Simeon's, you can find a pair of eyes on top an image of the city. This likely references how in the game you're always being watched, and in Los Santos. You're never truly alone in the city. There's a luxury store called Kavgari in the Rockford area of Los Santos. This likely references Bulgari, of course a luxury brand that also has a location on Rodeo Drive, which is what this area of the map is loosely based on, more or less. There's a luxury store also in Rockford named Anawack. This references how models are expected to be ultra skinny at unrealistic levels in the modeling industry, especially at the time of GTA 5's release when body positivity wasn't so common amongst brands and consumers. So they named it Anorex in reference to anorexia being common in modeling at the time. The Junk Energy skydive and bicycle trials are a reference to how Red Bull, who also makes energy drinks, does a lot of crazy stunts in real life. It's basically GTA's version of Red Bull, just blue and black instead of blue and white. There's a fast food place located in Davis that is called Bishop's Chicken. A bishop is a member of a church, kind of in summary, so this likely references the fast food place Church's Chicken in real life. A nice play on words for you from Rockstar themselves. And that is it, everyone. I greatly appreciate you for watching this video. If you did enjoy, please subscribe and leave a like. It greatly helps me out. And thank you to my October channel members, which are Anawack, KOIAER, Karso, Agaro, PAARTHUR, Radioactive 661, Jetari, and GooBirdz. I greatly appreciate you guys. I appreciate you all. Please have a great day. Stay warm, stay safe, stay cozy. I'll see you all later, soon, and goodbye. Hey, hey, look, hey, look, hey, look. You better subscribe, because if you do not, I might cry. You better subscribe, I ran up the bands in GTA 5. You better subscribe, because if you do not, you might cry. You better subscribe, because if you don't, I might die. You better subscribe, I'm about to go crazy on the beat. You better subscribe, hey, wait for the beat to drop, ooh, you better subscribe, hey, you better subscribe, I'm out of breath. You better subscribe,